It's just like the coolest house of all time?
For me, it's the coolest house of all time.
Music, TV shows, and even the perfect temperature that will follow you to every room without the touch of a button? That's what it's like living in Bill Gates' world. With an always fluctuating net worth of about $115 billion, Bill Gates definitely has the billions and the brains it takes to create a futuristic, high-tech luxury home. His massive Washington mansion has everything from speakers hidden behind the wallpaper and in the pool to floors that can sense who is walking on them. From his private cinema and library with secret doors to his 23-car garages, here is what it's like to live as the founder of Microsoft.
I'm done.
It took Bill Gates 7 years and $63 million to build his Medina, Washington estate that he calls Xanadu 2.0. The mega mansion's name was inspired by one of Gates' favorite movies, Citizen Kane. Medina is a suburb in Seattle that's known for its rich occupants, like Amazon billionaire Jeff Bezos. Bill Gates put down $2 million in 1988 to buy the plot of land for his teched-out mansion and had 300 construction workers, including 100 electricians, complete his high-tech dream home. The home, which was built primarily with 500-year-old Douglas fir trees, is now worth a whopping $154 million. The house might be worth more than what he paid to make it, but owning a mansion this big comes with some serious costs. It was reported that in 2009, the mega mansion's property taxes were at least $1.063 million. But once you step foot inside his high-tech wonder house, you might just decide that Gates is putting his money to good use. Let's get all the basics down before we get into the technology. The Medina home stretches over 66,000 square feet and is meant for lots of entertaining and family time. With 7 luxurious bedrooms and 24 bathrooms, 10 of which are full baths, Bill and Melinda and their 3 children have more space than they know what to do with. The home also comes with 6 different kitchens and a home theater perfect for family time. Who needs to go out to watch movies when it even comes with his own popcorn machine? Bill Gates might not be the youngest billionaire in the US, but with a growing family, he likes to stay young at heart. His home comes tricked out with a 60-foot pool in its own separate 3,900 square foot building. Swimming underneath the glass wall will bring you up to a terrace area on the outside, so you can enjoy the warmer days of Washington weather. There's also a locker room with 4 showers and 2 baths, and right nearby is the 2,500 square foot exercise facility. This at-home gym includes a sauna, steam room, men's and women's locker rooms, and a trampoline room complete with super high ceilings. The 2,100 square foot library is probably what you imagine when you think of how Bill Gates spends his spare time. As an avid reader, the huge library is actually his favorite room in the house. In addition to being a cool office space, the library has a dome roof and walls covered in special edition novels and manuscripts, including the Codex Leicester, a 16th century Leonardo da Vinci manuscript that Gates bought at auction for $30.8 million back in 1994. But the library also has its secrets, like all good libraries do. There are 2 secret bookcases, including one that reveals a hidden bar. On the ceiling, a quote from The Great Gatsby reads, "He had come a long way to this blue lawn, and his dreams must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it." When it comes to business over pleasure, Gates has the perfect place to wine and dine his friends, co-workers, and many charity associates. The 2,300 square foot dining hall seats up to 150 people for a dinner party or 200 people standing. A 6-foot wide limestone fireplace dominates one wall, while another wall has a 22-foot wide video screen for special presentations, conferences, and watch parties. Bill Gates also loves cars. There are several different garages at different points around his estate, but the most interesting one is probably the underground cave he had made out of concrete and stainless steel that can fit 10 of his best vehicles. In all, he has room for 23 cars, and we'll show you some of his favorites a little bit later. Now for what you've all been waiting for, the tech. There is so much technology incorporated in Gates' sprawling mansion that the house features an estate-wide server system just to handle all the gadgets. Not that you would know that just by looking inside, because the tech is surprisingly subtle and well hidden. When guests arrive at the Gates estate, they're given a PIN code that interacts with sensors located all over the house. The PIN allows them to use their phone to set up their preferences for things like lighting and temperature. After detecting your preferences, the house will literally change for you as you move around. Rooms will become colder if you like them that way. Lights will dim, and even the TV show you are watching in the living room or your bedroom will follow you around on different video screens as you move through the house. Plus, you might be thinking that having such a big house can be a pain for certain things, like finding an available phone to answer when someone calls the mansion. No worries at the Gates estate though, because the house detects who's home and where, so only the phone closest to you will ring. The floors throughout the home have sensors in them. When someone enters, the system knows who it is by their weight. This isn't only useful for ringing phones and transferring TV shows, it also works as a great security system, because if someone unknown gets into the house will know the exact moment they entered and where they're going. We gotta say, so far Bill Gates' system is blowing Alexa out of the water. Another subtlety of the Gates home are the speakers hidden all over the mansion just behind the wallpaper. This is what allows the music you choose to follow you to every room without you so much as lifting a finger. Pair this with the heated floors throughout the mansion and even heated driveways, and staying at the Gates house is probably one of the most relaxing vacations you'd ever take. That epic pool also has a high-tech secret. There are speakers underwater that connect to your pin as well, so you can play any music you like while diving deep. No details on whether or not there are speakers in the showers, but we'd be surprised if there wasn't. There are also $80,000 worth of computer screens around the house that can be transformed into art. The screens display the family's favorite paintings or photographs, which are stored on devices worth $150,000. Using the interface, anyone who visits can find their favorite piece and put it on display to feel more at home. But since real art is more valuable, Gates also has an extensive art collection that includes works by Leonardo da Vinci and is valued at an estimated $130 million. It seems like displaying art for his family and guests to play with on digital screens helps preserve his much more expensive physical collection. Bill Gates definitely thinks ahead, but he didn't buy Xanadu with all the ideas in mind of how he can make his home a high-tech haven. In fact, the 1,900 square foot guest house was the first building to be completed on the property and served as a testing ground for all the tech he wanted to incorporate into the main house. The grounds of his home also inspire some high-tech tricks. There's a 40-year-old maple tree that grew close to the home's driveway that Gates is reportedly very fond of. It's monitored by a computer, and water is automatically pumped into it if the computer senses that the soil is too dry. This inspired other natural areas in the yard to be treated the same way. Even gardening at the Gates' estate is like a dream come true. Sustainability and being eco-friendly are very important to Bill Gates, so really, we shouldn't be surprised that he has computers watering his plants. Xanadu 2.0 is also an earth-sheltered house that was built into its surroundings for better temperature regulation. There is also a stream and wetland estuary on the ground that was created to solve any problems with runoff from the property's large walls. The water is kept stocked with salmon and trout, creating a little haven of wildlife right in the backyard. We promised we'd talk about Bill Gates' epic car collection, so let's see what luxury vehicles he's keeping in any one of his many garages. Bill Gates' sports car collection is worth an estimated $650,000. The first car he ever bought after founding Microsoft was a Porsche 911 that he later auctioned off for $80,000. Some of his other favorites include a Jaguar XJ6, a Porsche Carrera Cabriolet 964, and a 1988 Porsche 959 Coupe. He's also been spotted with a Ferrari 348. While there might be some high-tech sports cars in his collection, he definitely has a preference for vintage luxury vehicles. But there's something Bill Gates travels in often that definitely doesn't fit in any of his garages. He owns a world-class private jet, a Bombardier BD700 Global Express, valued at $19.5 million. Bill Gates prides himself on not being too excessive with his money, but the man's got important places to be, so a private jet makes perfect sense. When it comes to luxury travel, he likes to take things up a notch. He's been spotted chartering the 439-foot super yacht Serene while on vacation in the Mediterranean with his family. This mega yacht rental costs $5 million a week and even comes with its own helicopter. Another place where Gates has given into some extra luxuries is the lakefront shore on his Medina property. The shore contains large quantities of important sand brought by a barge from St. Lucia each year. When he's too busy for a tropical vacation, he just brings the beaches right to his backyard. Not that Bill doesn't get away as often as possible for a tropical retreat. It might be hard to imagine needing a break from a $154 million teched-out mansion, but even being surrounded by the same luxuries gotta get boring sometime. Luckily, according to CNBC, Bill owns his very own private island in Belize. Apparently, it's called Grand Bouquet, and he bought it for $25 million. The island spans 400 acres and is only a few miles away from Belize City, so Bill isn't too isolated even when he and his family want some ultimate alone time. It also happens to be the biggest island in the area, because why would Bill Gates settle for any less? If you're wondering just how much a tour of Bill Gates' epic mansion might cost you, we actually have a pretty definitive answer. Gates has donated private tours of Xanadu 2.0 in the past. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, a Microsoft employee once won the tour with a bid of $35,000. Presumably, he then got to experience the Gates estate and put his PIN code to good use. Do you think he got to try the pool? What about the trampoline room? We'll probably never know for sure, but if you ever become a Microsoft employee and find out, please send us an update. Would you like to live in a house as high-tech as Bill Gates's? Let us know in the comments which high-tech accessories you'd love to incorporate into your home, and which ones are better left to the billionaires.